All right, hello, everybody. Welcome back, podcast in
Welcome back. The amazing new Quinto.
the wonderful, the sought after, the brilliant mind, Christopher Bernard. That's
It's good to
it.
see you,
The
my
show
friend.
you never heard of or seen
Until right now. Until right now.
this moment.
Podcast and chill.
Basket it. Let's
Did you say basket it?
basket it. Yes, basking in the sun.
Basket
It
it.
was from the Running Man. Do you remember the Running Man? They had those staged winners, and they were
Yes.
William Price and Haddad basking in the Maui sun, and like it's like they were charred. They what do they call that? They simulated that they won. So I'm getting tired of sports, and I've always say to my friends, like amongst us, I'm like, there's nothing. I'm so desensitized now. I would want to watch The Running Man.
Oh,
Like take the inmates, put them in the Titan games, but
yes. That's
they're fighting
basically
for survival. Yeah, and if
yes,
they get
that's
out, they get out of jail.
that would excite me. I want to see the Stanford prison experiment. That's what I want to see.
It's ridiculous.
Terrible.
Desensitized. That's terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, what's going on? How's your week been?
Well, no, we got to talk about your fresh look. Always looking fresh. Like I swear, okay, black don't crack. Yes, all right, good. I get it. Yeah, but you,
I just told a buddy I'm getting younger. I swear.
I was gonna say, it looks like you were Benjamin buttoning this whole thing. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. You know what?
Are you still doing your own hair?
I'm firing on all cylinders. Like life is good, work is good, family is good. I think a haircut has a lot to do with confidence. I was rocking an old haircut. Right? Look at your haircut. Look how fresh
Dude.
you are.
I look like an extra in a Bruce Lee movie. It's like it was bad. I get it. It was bad, and then it's just kind of like, I got to do something about this. This is.
And then that's what drove me to cutting my own hair. So I even it's a week. It's a week in, and my lines are a little bit. But so, anyways, I'll do the bald fade. I'll go 0 to 1 to whatever, and I learn the different tricks and the contour of my head now. And here's the kicker. I went out and bought more instruments this week, like the lineup tool with the T clip. It's longer. It's a little bit deeper. I got to work on my part, which I miss. I started lining up my forehead now. Like I'm gonna start getting into. I'm like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. And that's why. Like I'll cut my hair every 2 weeks. So.
Wow.
Right? The benefit of not paying.
Well, it won't be long before people are going to pay you to cut their hair.
And that's what I said. I'm like, you know what? I'll cut your hair. I cut Tristan's hair. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I think I said it before. I'm like, I'm going to end up coaching these kids in whatever sports. And then I'm going to end up driving them. And then I'm also going to be, doing their fades. So
you will.
I look forward to that. Yeah.
That is incredible. And you know what? I got it. I'm not that great with the hair. Admittedly, it's not my wheelhouse. It's just, I would think you should be good at hair. I'm like, I know I should be. I'm okay with not being good at everything. I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be my specialty.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But like a ponytail, it's kind of like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while. The kids are gonna be here a while.
Yeah. Well, are you good at braiding, tying up, ponytail, like whatever with your girl's hair? That's got to be difficult.
Listen,
dads have to learn a ponytail, but with their hair. They got the good hair.
It ain't easy. I'll just say that. It's not my wheelhouse, and it ain't easy.
That's it. So there you get frustrated, and then you're like,
Very good job at taking care of that, so that I don't have to. And like I said, I'm okay with not being good at everything.
at everything.
You know what I mean? Like, like, come on,
Yeah,
not everything.
that's
It's
it.
not in my wheelhouse.
So yeah, I went to a couple beauty shops this week actually to get supplies.
Yes.
I used so to do the bald fade, like you could use the zero down on your clippers, but like the trick too to get right down to the skin is you can use like a shaver. So I got this terrific Andis shaver, like all the barbers have them, and I'm like, that's what I need. That's what I need. So I'm like, in addition to,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
you can get it like nice and like right down to the wood, right?
yeah.
So I picked that up, and then like I said, I got another set of clippers with the T clips, and I tried to do a little bit more lining up. So, but it was interesting to go in there because I wasn't trying to. It was not like I was telling them, "Oh yeah, I'm getting into the business," and this. It's just like, how do you say that, right? Because people that go in there are just, they're
Into the hair business.
owners. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that's the beauty of the internet. You can find prices online. So I knew I was going in there. I'm like, oh, they're going to upcharge, and that's fair. But this one place in particular, like it was upcharged, and I'm like, oh. So if I told you I was going to be a barber,
You're like,
oh yeah, you'd get wholesale. And I'm like, well, okay, nice. Well, I already bought it for less elsewhere, and I was like, that's not great business. Like you only want, like you got a sale in me right now. Just anyway, it just made me think. I'm like, whoa, what a niche market.
yes, it is. Well, here I know, like for professional level clippers, you're dropping a couple $100.
Oh yeah,
minimum,
yeah,
and then they go up from there. Like there's $1,000 clippers, and I'm like, they do the same job.
Oh yeah,
they do the same job. Like, well, no, this one does more. Like, how? Like, how can it do more?
sure.
That's a whole other world.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's like anything. You have an appreciation if that's something you do all the time, right?
Oh yeah.
So, I know some people don't get it, but like try cutting your own hair, really. Like
Yeah,
try cooking your own meal. Like, you can never, you're not going to be to the level of Michelin chef, right? Like,
yes.
they have the tools, they're priced for what, they're priced that way for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And they're professionals for a reason. So
exactly. Right. I don't claim to be, but I'm just happy to be, have the ability to do it frequently because I get annoyed now. I get little things get fuzzy. It's
I'm looking fuzzy here. I don't like
do it whenever. Like I don't have to book it. I don't.
That's right. You'll never go like needy. It's like when you pass that point, you're like, I should have went 2 days ago. Dude, I should have went.
Yeah, and the mask, right? Like I can't wear a mask. I know it for protection or protecting others, but I just can't breathe. So if I don't have to, I'm gonna opt out.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you have to wear it for yours?
I didn't have to wear one for my barber.
Uh-huh.
The best barber. He said, well, I walk in and my hair was again longer, and he's just like, yo. Because I hadn't seen him in a few months. A high top fade, y'all know? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while, I'm sorry. And so I got a little bit of trouble. I got scolded. And everyone's like, finally. They look at me and say, finally.
Finally, you did it.
Because I was growing it. I kept it longer. I kept it a bit longer.
I enjoyed that.
I could play with my look. It was COVID, what have you. I can afford to look a little sloppy because I'm not going anywhere to do anything.
Right.
But you're right. It comes back to that haircut. It's refreshing. It makes you feel refreshed.
Well, that's it. And I think that's why, like I think of the professional basketball players who wear new shoes all the time, every game. MJ used to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, really?
Refreshing feeling of just.
Yeah, because when you don't have that ability to do that, you're not sponsored or whatever. You kind of grow into a pair that you like wearing all the time too, right? Like, so I would argue, like, oh, don't you want to wear the same ones that you kind of wore into? But I get it. If guys get frequent haircuts, frequently new shoes, new uniform, like you look crisp, you feel crisp. Like it's part of the swag, the attitude, feel good, right?
Yeah, that's right. It feels good.
You want to be on point all the time if you can. So
that's right. Got to look for it, play your part.
Play the part.
Now, before we move on, because I wanted to talk about the COVID protocol and all that and those habits. Before we do, I got to just mention last podcast we talked about Guyana's background, and I foresaw I would get Guyanese backlash.
I love when we were kids and you try not to laugh. You're like I'm not gonna laugh, and then you're like, dude, you clearly you're laughing under the. Yeah,
I got that backlash, and I was like, because I can't even remember what I said in response to where it is, and it's bordering Venezuela, South America, Trinidad and Tobago. I didn't get into all that, and I can't remember what I said, but it was wrong. And I got a list of how could yous and what's wrong with you. I got a lot of trouble. So
no, I could detect an undercurrent of uncertainty and a little I'm not like you're in the vicinity.
Yeah. But that was like, you know what I mean? But listen, a grudge will be held is fine. A grudge is
there it is.
That's fine. That's how it goes. I called that one too.
So you were right about that.
I was right about that too. I was wrong and I was right. Whatever.
So how far off were you? I
think I was
pretty far off. Okay.
I was pretty far off.
Okay.
It just did not come to mind, and I just said the first thing came. Oh, whatever. But I do stand corrected, and I've been informed. And for anyone that was deeply offended my incorrect answers, I humbly apologize. And I am now being instructed in ways of yada, yada, yada. I learned my lesson.
So, okay, you stand corrected. I admire that. I respect that. If you can be remorseful and correct the behavior, then, so be it.
I took the feedback.
What else was there to add, though? They must have said, you didn't mention this.
Oh, there was so much I didn't do, but I'm not going to go. Listen, when the time comes around, we'll talk about it again, but
okay.
This is just sorry.
Yeah, that's it. Well, so interestingly enough, we were watching Parts Unknown, Anthony Bourdain in the Philippines, and they happened to choose Christmas time. And Christmas is a huge phenomenon back in the Philippines. And I forgot about that. I didn't know it was this scale, but pretty much beginning of pretty early, November, you're already full tilt into celebrating Christmas.
Okay, wait, real quick. Are you a tree up in November or a December person?
December, yeah, here anyways.
Okay.
Because we get the real tree. So we can't go too early because then it dries out and it's a fire hazard in your house.
Okay. Continue.
But I've been asking my wife to do a artificial for the last couple of years. Now that we're here in this house, that we're not leaving, I kind of want to just, because it bothers me, the needles, the pine needles throughout, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see who wins that battle this year. I think we'll still end up doing real. It's the whole going to the farm and cutting it down and
the whole experience.
Yeah, that and make a day out of it, and hot chocolate and treats and stuff like that. Right? It's a whole.
You're starting your tradition.
We could do that without bringing a tree home.
Just go for hot
Yeah, we'll
Just
pretend.
go for hot chocolate. Pretend. Here's a tree.
Take this picture. Like, yeah, he's too happy to be really cutting it down.
There was no work being done in that picture.
No, you did not. That's not the tree in the picture. The tree in the picture that you cut and the one that.
Wait, so
It's a white tree. No.
so your love of Christmas did not come from family tradition. You just found this out like, oh, it's a big deal over there.
Yeah, from watching the documentary, right? Like, the only thing Filipino about me really is like where my parents are from. It's I'm like could be more Canadian than what you would visualize a Canadian to be. Like,
Yes. Okay. Well,
so even I'm learning about
but you can't.
the whole.
I don't think anyone can claim to know everything about their own culture.
No, sure.
There's always something to learn, right? There's still even like Canadians who were born in Canada and their parents are from Canada. You still got to learn about Canada. It's changing all the time. So
Yeah, absolutely. We're creating culture all the time. But this one, I had no idea. But there is one phenomenon that's tied into Christmas. Christmas is huge. But they happen to cover the overseas Filipino worker. OSFW. That's it. And they say 10% of the country's GDP comes from the Filipino workers that work all around the world and send money back to their families. It's huge, huge thing. And actually, Filipinos have been quoted for saying like their number one resource is the people because the people go work everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
nannies, engineers, manual laborers, nursing staff, like you name it, like that. Those IT, those are the big ones.
Don't forget comedians. Don't forget comedians. Joe Coy, his new special. I know you watched it. You watched it, right?
You don't know.
The Philippines.
So I've seen his older ones. I did not see that one. I'm afraid.
I won't spoil
But interestingly enough, on the entertainment scale, a lot of cover bands, right? You remember Journey?
Yeah.
The band Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah.
Like their lead singer, I think Pineda is his last name. So he was basically recruited from like karaoke singing and cover gigs and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it was. I'm like Filipinos in the flair for that.
For the karaoke,
B-level entertainment. It's not going to be like high level, but they're really good at like imitation and stuff like that.
Entertainment and performing and
yeah.
Yes. Oh, he's got a great bit about it. You got to watch it. It's really everything.
Okay. It's on Netflix.
He nails it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he brings his friends back to the Philippines. And there's a bunch of Filipino. The whole production is run by people that are Filipino, and so they bring you right in the heart of the city and show you the culture. And Joe kind of brings you up through his family, and he shows you that and shares with you. It's great. It's amazing. You should definitely.
Okay, I know I have to watch that for sure.
Talking about that because we just watched that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just watched that. It was really good.
I thought he grew up in California. That's where he lived.
He did.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he did.
Was he born in the Philippines?
No, I don't think he was.
Okay, because I thought you were going to say like, oh, he was going to cover like how he lived there, and I'm like, he wasn't even born there, was he? So
no, yeah, no, he wasn't.
That's like me going back and doing a documentary, like, oh yeah, this is where I where I shoot hoops, and
everyone's like, who are you?
Like, huh? That's so wrong, dude. I'd have orange soda in a bag. Have you ever seen that? Did you talk about that? Clear plastic bags, like where you put the fruit at the grocery store. Yeah, they put in that.
Yeah.
The recycling, like yeah. Oh,
I know you've got like a ton of like
references.
References.
Oh. We had that. Eddie Murphy did that joke.
The flip flops.
He got in trouble like getting hit on the backside with a flip flop. Yeah. We called them chanellas.
Canellas.
And like in the house, like you have your like street shoes and you have your house shoes, and your house shoes are Chanellas, flip flops. It's like the national, like the uniform of at home is like for the guy is the tank top, the white tank top, the string, not the wide one, and then short shorts, kind of like those Adidas ones, soccer shorts, and Chanellas.
You know, you
were
were
a Filipino, like
so that when you've worn that, you've made it. That's like the pinnacle.
yeah,
That's it right there.
you're blending right in. Yeah,
That's it. You know what's interesting? It's it's similar to the Jamaican. Instead of the white, it's a mesh. It's just a mesh. It's just
so cool.
it's the same. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
but with the mesh shirt.
With the mesh. I know, I remember seeing those for the first time. I'm like, oh my God, those are so cool. Those are so cool. Like, where do you get that? It's too cold here to do that, right?
Yeah, it's much too. Well, it's been hot recently, so I might have to find my mesh shirt.
You have it. Okay, where do I buy that? Like, in Hamilton, what you would go to is like, what's that urban store that was downtown on King Street, close to Jackson Square, by Cheapies. They would have like, Mad Deals or whatever the name of this, and they'd have like fake pieces and like hair extensions. Probably, like, I'm sure they had they had the African belt, like the ones that you tie up. Come on, you remember? Oh. I think it was Deals, bro.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
That's where you.
I remember that store well. Not because I was a patron. I did not patron that store. I did not support that as a business. I was actually quite afraid of whatever was happening in there. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Whatever was posted on the outside, it felt, my soul just felt like, no, I can't risk it. I don't know. I can't go in there. I remember that store well.
I was just trying to think of. I mean, the old Mountain Plaza had stuff like that too.
Oh my gosh, the old Mountain Plaza. So much better than that new Mountain Plaza.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's still not the same.
Not much flavor there, right?
No, I know. It was a big old box store and everything. Terrible.
Now, in the current time, like, you think how cheesy they are, and then when you reminisce back, you're like, oh, it's just we lack having those now, and you're like, oh, I miss them.
No, I miss it.
We didn't embrace authenticity. What's that?
A bit of nostalgia because we're going down that route. Yeah, we're going to go back to. I was going to ask, what have you been watching? The 24/7 TV shows. What do you find that you're always going back to? Because for me, there's just a couple that I just.
Yep, same.
So you go first. What are?
Oh no, definitely. I mean, this one I bring up every week almost. Parts Unknown, Anthony Bourdain, because I'm just like, what to me, what captures my. I'm like, okay, the food, the travel.
Living that life.
Right. I'm not big on fiction. That's why. So I don't want to really watch anything like that. My mind would I'd rather it take me on like to exotic places and different foods and whatever else is going. A little bit of history, right?
Yeah.
So that has everything. And anytime I'm like even try to watch a new release or something, I'm like, I don't care for it. We in the background put Parts Unknown. Yeah, that right now. What else? Seinfeld sometimes I'll go to. And it's a lot of cartoon stuff because of Tristan. That's what we mostly watch. Okay, what about you?
Well, I'll mention the reason why I asked, and then I'll circle back to the ones on my list. I realized in watching these shows, again, this is just, I guess, my writer mind. So I'm watching how these shows were built, and like just the I've seen every episode of these shows multiple times,
Right.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is how I guess pictured a lot of things, how things should occur in life, and then they didn't.
He did.
And so it's kind of like interesting. You go, oh, that's because you form a basis of life based on a whole myriad of things, and so like I realized that what TV gave, it just gave that basis of like, okay, this is what high school would be like. And so one of my shows is Saved by the Bell that I just always go.
Beautiful, yeah.
It's just what I'm like. Oh, did I actually think high school was like this? Like how in comparison to my high school experience, I'm like, huh, interesting. Other one I go back to, The Cosby Show.
Yes.
And then when I watched it, though, I'm like, huh, this is what I thought how family was structured.
Right.
In that. I was like, oh, okay. And then so making those comparisons, I'm like, oh, this is not my family. I'm like, man, if it would be so cool to have that Huxtable family, how cool would that be? And so it's, and the other one.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, actually, Saved by the Bell's actually the most embarrassing. So the other one, I would say, I've seen Martin. It's like a guilty pleasure.
The ridiculousness of the characters is so good.
But it was genius.
Yeah.
I was I'm not way too young, but I didn't pick up on like what he was actually doing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually
crude, like in the funniest way, and like it would go over our heads because we weren't
right over. Like there's so much I didn't catch in that. I was like, yep, Martin Lawrence was a genius, like for sure.
Absolutely. But then they had enough theatrics that is what you and I would, like,
that's what I was watching, the theatrics, thinking this is
like no one knows where he worked.
Yeah.
What was Cockroach's name? It was probably Cockroach. Like how?
No, I know. Colt. Wait, Tommy and Colt. Tommy. He was Tommy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Colt was yeah. Oh. Ridiculous.
You know, there's got to be a whole compilation of Nia. What's his girlfriend's name again? Martin and Gina.
Tisha Campbell.
Yeah, with Gina, right? Isn't her?
Yeah, Gina. Yeah.
There must be a whole compilation of her like cracking up as he's.
Yes, I love those outtakes at the end that they would just do, and oh my gosh, that was just so much fun. It looked like so much fun, like just.
Oh, I was actually just flipping through those last week just to kind of look and be like reminded of the shows that I once would watch, and it was Who's the Boss, Tony Danza.
That was that's like top for sure.
I forgot this, and it's like, how did they live together and not like become a couple?
That was why you kept coming back every week. You're like, this is it. Do you remember how that series ended?
No, I know they moved out of the house, right? It had to be something related to that. New job.
No.
Oh, tell me.
Well, yes and no.
She went to school. Alyssa Milano went to school.
Yes, and then Tony did move out. Like the job was kind of done. It was like, okay, we don't really need you anymore. So he moved out, but Angela stayed, and he came back and knocked on the door like he did in the opening credits.
That's right. Yeah, and then they left it at that.
And they left it at that because he came back to her, and then.
Damn, great writing.
It was great. It was great.
So your imagination.
Just like I had no business watching that show.
No, yeah, that's right.
No business.
With all like the sassy like older woman, but that was still like acting hip. So they leave it to your imagination that they get back to that they.
No, they do. Oh, they do. It's not it's like he comes back to be with her.
The kids are like off, It's just them.
Yeah.
That was the whole time. It was the kids were what were in the way of that happening, I suppose.
Well, it was.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah.
holy smokes! Yeah, okay. There's that, and then what's the one with Alan Thicke? Growing Pains.
Oh,
I was looking.
yeah.
And then the opening credits of that is pictures of them when they were younger, up until like the current day. So that was pretty clever.
Yeah.
Family Ties, was that Michael J. Fox?
Michael J. Fox. Yes. Yeah, watch that too.
No, Different Strokes. Did you ever watch Different Strokes?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Drummond, Arnold.
Arnold. What you talking about, Willis? Like, it was just fantastic.
So we actually talked about this last week. Was that like black families depicted in TV shows? The most popular ones were tied to like a wealthy lifestyle. The Jeffersons, Fresh Prince,
Yes.
Different Strokes, the Huxtables. What was the other one with Urkel?
Family Matters.
Like they were middle class, right?
They were middle class family. He was a
cop. Yeah, like
yeah. And I can't remember what was she a nurse? I think she was either a nurse or a teacher.
he was a black mom. Like that's like, she didn't have to be anything else but that. She was their world. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was thinking that today, like how what's that movie? Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Tyler Perry.
Is that it's all your favorite?
He's doing his thing. Good for him.
Can I, in a word, will you agree with me if I were to sum up his work? Formulaic? Is that accurate? And by that I mean it seems like the same thing all the time, just the characters sort of change. I never really watched this stuff thoroughly, so.
Well, you know what?
And I have to add, hold on, before you say anything, his performance in Gone Girl was horrendous. Oh my gosh. He was like some kind of...
That's right, he was a detective, right?
Kind of himself. Like, was he a detective or was he like a book writer that knew the profile because he writes these books all like...
Something like that. Yeah.
So
You know what? I can't even remember what the movie was. And I was like, I didn't want to watch it. I watched it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not bad. I gave it like, it was an honest, like, yeah, it was all right. And when I was told it was a Tyler Perry movie,
And you're like, that's why.
I was just like, okay, well, I guess there's something that I can appreciate there. But it didn't. I'm a bad person too.
No.
I look at things differently, and it just doesn't.
I was going to say, put Tyler Perry and Will Smith in a spaceship and just send them off. And you and I...
Not for me, it's all. It goes into a different direction. It's not for me.
His acting is so bad. I'm like, just stay behind the camera. Stop.
But the one atrocity I will that is will make mention.
Okay.
The Last Airbender.
Oh, yeah. The concept.
Which is now being redone, thankfully, by Netflix, which I'm very excited to see.
So is it because of the premise, the suspension of disbelief, or is it because it's M. Night?
You know, it's hard. From what I hear, from the story I was told, was that, and I don't know how true this is.
You're saying. Okay.
I don't know. Is M. Night got the property at the end of season 2. So the Last Airbender, the first, I guess, season is not the first season. The first, I guess, book or series, the first go, is about 3 seasons. And at the end of season 2, he got the prop and was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. So the thing wasn't complete, and he's just kind of made it up.
Oh, you don't want to say that. Okay.
It was not. And as a fan, I'm speaking as a fan, I was thoroughly disappointed at the direction that he took the story. Just me being a fanboy, I'm just saying it was weak. It was just not.
Okay, can I use the phrase "lazy writing"? Is that what it was, or was what
it was uninspired? I'll just say it was uninspired. I was like, no. And then the races got changed, and I was like, why are you doing that? They handed you a playbook. All you had to do was
execute. Run the play.
Run the play. That's it. Just run the play. Take what's awesome and make it better.
Okay. What else? What other projects were you disappointed with? The final, like the anticipation, the height of anticipation was like too much to handle.
Well, that's why I had to stop myself, because The Last Airbender was like the last thing. I was like, oh my god! But now I've gotten smarter. I go, okay, this director or this writer I can get excited about, because I know, like Christopher Nolan, like whatever, it doesn't even matter. If someone's just like, was filming a flower for an hour, I'm going to be like, this is going to be the best flower film I've ever seen. Like I hype myself up so, because it takes me a couple of watches to get what he's going for, and I'm like, okay, you got me. You got me. You got me. You got my attention. All right, let me watch this again. Let me study this. Let me see what's going on.
That's like, you can get geeked out for that, and it's going to be,
and then I won't be disappointed, because
But think of one where you had those, you did anticipate that, but it turned out wrong. Like, let me give you an example for me. I'm to this day, I'm like, whoever made that casting should be fired to this day. Like Michael Keaton as Batman. I hated that. I was just like, especially in the era or coming off of Bruce Willis, Stallone, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. I get it. I get that.
Mr. Mom is Batman. I was like devastated. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. And then it was too adult for me at the time it came out. I think it came out in 1990, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's right. That's right.
Watching like the first like real Batman, not animated, and it's Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger at the time. Okay, hot, like actress, like, you know, the actress, female actress to play Vicky Vale, or Yes. Jack Nicholson
as the Joker
seemed brilliant to me, but then it was like, I remember watching it and being like, oh, this is probably for like a 30-year-old.
That is true. Yes, that is. Here's what's interesting. So I think it was Tim Burton's like, okay, I want a different look, a different feel, because the word on the street was Adam West wanted to be Batman in the movie, and they're like, no, we're going for a totally different feel and look than what you're seeing on TV. So they were cast against type. So they were like, this is more about the man Bruce Wayne, not like the pow pow pow. It's not. It's action, but it's not. It is like for a 30-year-old man. Like, we need to see what a 30-year-old Playboy would be like in the 1990s in a gothic kind of setting.
Adam West wanted to play Batman in that one? Was he already like probably in his 50s? He was older.
Yeah, but he was like, wait, I've been doing it on TV, so why wouldn't I? That's the story. So it's like, oh, okay. So they wanted to
20 years past due.
We're looking for a fresher look. Looking for
the milk's gone sour. It's kind of past the due date.
Yeah, they wanted to appeal to a whole different kind of whatever. So Yeah, they had to change that. They had to, but I get it because you're like, well, I'm used to a different kind of Batman. I'm used to a different kind of, and then they got Val Kilmer. Remember that one?
Yeah.
The Val Kilmer one, which I
money,
liked.
right?
Yeah, things changed up, but it wasn't. I don't think they thought. I don't think they expected Batman to do as well as it did.
Which one? That one? That
Yeah, that one. It was a big budget.
Batman, the original Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, there was big budget and all that, and there wasn't much attention to like DC property. Comic book turned into film. It wasn't a big success thing yet.
Okay.
That was the first crossover that was like hugely successful,
Okay.
and so that
That prompted all the other ones. Well, wait. Hold on. Can I argue Superman though? The Superman's before it, from like the late mid '70s all the way.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve.
And
Yeah, oh, I love that one. Oh, so great. Yeah, that was the thing, and I keep talking about Superman.
Claude.
He's got a great story, and he's got a great. It's fantastic. His only story, his best story, is his origin story. Even in like his death story, everyone's like, whatever.
Yeah.
You died. Who cares? But everyone's like, I want to see that origin story again. I want to see you escape from Krypton and rise up. But so
today, with today's graphics,
exactly. So they'll wait, another 30 years before they try to make another Superman or origin story. They're not going to pick up and go, let's do his death again. So I will say this about those DC blockbusters that just aren't hitting it. They kind of have to water down the characters and give you those. That's why they have the standalone movies, so you get the feel for them, and then in the movie they got to cut it down, and it's just not like not invested. I'm not as invested.
So it's a not foregone conclusion, but like it's a hopeless cause in a sense, because they're going to be limited.
Yeah, and they keep watering down that story. So you can see that they did it with the Batman franchise. They look at all the different iterations of Batman, right, and then it fizzled, and nobody took it seriously. And then Christopher Nolan comes in, and he's like, okay, we're going ultra, like, realistic. This is how it would look. Yeah. So we're kind of seeing that again right now with these big budget action things. Again, they're kind of going through their iterations, and people are like, yeah, okay, world's at it, and again, yeah, these super, whatever, and then no one's going to care for a while, and then you're going to see someone do something cool with superheroes again, and it's going to be a big.
So okay, let's just leave it in a word though. Favorite actor as that character. So Spider-Man, can we both agree, is Tobey Maguire? Yes. Like, who else? I can't even think of the other. Oh, unless we're talking about the new series that you're talking about.
Well, if we do live action,
last week.
Oh, that was okay. The animated one, yeah, Miles Morales. Yeah, that's the animated. But for live action Spider-Man, I'm going to say the new guy. I can't remember his name.
We'll look it up.
I can't. I gotta say, Homecoming was pretty cool. I enjoyed him.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Peter Parker. For a while though, I would say Tobey Maguire for sure. But
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yes, thank you. I will say his rendition of Peter Parker.
He's in it, and so is Robert Downey Jr. Hilarious.
And Robert Downey Jr. They make a good team. They actually do. Yeah. And I thought it was.
He was terrific for Iron Man. Iron Man, was it a big and popular comic before it became a movie? Or did the movie really propel it to like mainstream?
No, I'd say like hardcore. Yeah, Iron Man was always around. There was different iterations of Iron Man. I think there was no, there wasn't a movie. He's pretty popular in the world of comics. Okay. But he didn't get his personality.
I was going to say Downey Jr. really brought the personality side of it.
Yeah. So you can identify and go, yeah, like that's Tony Stark. Yeah. Like if you were in the comic world, you knew that was a perfect match. Like
Okay.
that had to happen.
Now, how badly did Ryan Reynolds butcher Green Lantern? But he with Deadpool.
That's the thing. He nailed Deadpool, and then Green Lantern was like,
right.
I like that Green Lantern, but the movie. I think it was the movie that was bad.
Okay, gotcha. And how about Jason Momoa as Aquaman? See, I was like, man, they really. It's great that they made him Aquaman because Aquaman could easily have been just like a Michael Phelps kind of dude. You know what I mean? Just a great swimmer, Phelps physique. You know, nothing that would be like, whoa, I can't have that body.
Yeah. I have not seen Aquaman.
Neither have I really. Like,
I'm familiar with Aquaman's folklore and history and all that. I've not seen it. I think
that's a huge contrast, the comic to the movie, because I'd be like, the comic, like he can't be that tough. And then
skin?
Like, whoa.
I mean, like just
capability, like his physical presence. Or am I wrong?
In the comic, yeah, no, he's pretty confident in himself in the comic. He's pretty like
okay. Yeah.
He's like, listen, if there's water around, like you're in trouble. Like, just you're done. No, you land dwellers don't understand.
That's the water, not him.
In the water,
but it's the water, not him.
It's That's This is true. Aquaman.
This is funny. The Kinder Eggs themes series right now. They have a superhero line, and Tristan got an Aquaman, and I was trying to show him. A cartoon of it.
Of Aquaman.
He opened one.
Yeah.
So he did exactly that, and I'm like, wow, it's hard to find anything on Aquaman cartoon on YouTube. So I was like, this is not.
Is that going well?
Inspiring him whatsoever. So it's broken in half, and it's like somewhere. Yeah,
it's a tough legacy to kind of. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because here's the thing.
Yeah,
he's like one of the original DC characters. I think Nomar was like the Submariner was like the first Aquaman type character, and then Aquaman came along and he was just cooler, slicker. But nobody cared because it was underwater. It was like Atlantis. Right. Like what's happening on land? And then Superman and Shazam came, and everyone's like, okay, now those dudes are the dudes, and everyone just kind of forgot Aquaman existed. They're like, whatever, dude. Go back to the water. Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares, right?
Because in the comic, he marries a whale. His wife. Whale. He's married to the sea. Like that's his love. And they make fun of him. They make fun of him for that. They're like,
he's just always the butt of all jokes.
They don't.
I guess they had to do the Jason Momoa. Like, that's why I'm saying it's.
I think it was a good choice. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good choice. But I haven't taken the time. I was watching Wonder Woman, and it was great. I fell asleep though, and I haven't. Sorry.
What's her name? Gal Gadot.
Yes, yeah. It was good from what I saw, but I fell asleep. I was like, I know it's. I know these Amazonian women are gonna kick ass, but I'm too tired. I can't. And then I was out, and I haven't gone back.
Oh,
But
jeez.
I plan to watch them. I guess they win. I don't know. There's sequels coming, so
Well, I mean, in the 24/7 cartoons, they have like the Marvel guys, so that's something you could go to as well. But when you asked what other shows you go to, I actually go to the 24/7 actors.
yes,
Their movies playing all day long, like Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, Denzel, Leo, Pacino, De Niro has one. Clint Eastwood has his
I
movie.
always go to Jim Carrey. I always find that sometimes not Jim Carrey movies though.
Yeah. No, I know. It's weird. Yeah.
He li-
Every once in a while, like they have like maybe something inspired by them or directed by them. It's just so you're not like just watching
Yeah.
Netflix.
their face the
But
whole
what
time.
I hate about doing that is like when I click into it, I'm automatically on Adam Sandler. So I always Adam Sandler movies. He has a lot of movies.
Does
Now this was funny trivia. This actor is the number one grossing actor like of all time. Like I don't know if it's because of him, but he's always in the movies, and you may never even guess like he's a B. He's not an A lister, but he's in everything. Like even Star Wars, he's in.
it's Sam Jackson. It's Sam Jackson. It's Samuel Jackson. He's in everything. Everything.
I was listening to another podcast where they were guessing, and it was like, oh my god, he's in everything. Coming to America, he's, and you're like,
Everything.
Eddie Murphy? No, he's in,
No, it is Sam Jackson's.
yeah, isn't that insane?
I know. Like, well,
And should he be paid accordingly, or is he just like it's?
he's a businessman. He knows it. He knows it. It's numbers. It's a numbers game, right? Like you strike while the iron's hot, and he's that good. He's got that swag. He got that cachet. Like he ended up in Star Wars. Like he went from like a crackhead to a Jedi.
Yeah,
Like no,
yeah.
you played a crackhead, and now you're playing a Jedi. Yes, whatever.
His best role was in Pulp Fiction. I think Jules. Yeah,
Jules.
it's got to be.
Well, yes, and with A Time to Kill. I'd say those two. Yeah.
What's his iconic role? Like,
His iconic role is probably Pulp Fiction.
okay, let's do this with other actors. Arnold.
Oh, Predator, Terminator.
Ooh, yeah.
Like he made those. Well, he made he's still in the Terminator. He made what 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, he was in that one too. Even if it was CGI. Stallone, which one is it? It's got to be Rocky over
It's Rocky.
Rambo.
First Blood.
Jim Carrey.
Ooh.
The Mask.
Oh. Ace Ventura.
Pet Detective. Oh my gosh, yes.
Detective.
Pacino. Scent of a Woman
Oh yeah. Oh.
or Scarface.
Say hello to my little friend.
Like there's so many lines.
They're just that. But I'm gonna say Scarface.
Your son is a big success.
Okay. You motherfucker see your big time? Look at me. Look on the
Okay, I'm just thinking. De Niro. What's his?
You know what? I don't know. Have you seen Raging Bull or Taxi? Like
They like see the thing is that was so before us. Like you'd have to watch that like when you were quite young too. And
yeah, Goodfellas.
like he did a major body transformation for Raging Bull, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he
He was a
did.
boxer.
Yes.
And
Yes,
Taxi. What was he in Taxi?
he was the taxi cab driver that like just went on a bloodbath. Like,
Yes. Okay.
yes,
Those are
but
token movies, but like, who is he known for?
I would
My
say,
first like major one of De Niro that I really enjoyed. I was super young watching this was Midnight Run.
wow, wow, well
A
done.
lot of comics like say that's one of their favorite comedic movies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he went on to analyze this,
Yes.
analyze that. He's got the Fockers.
Yes. Oh man,
Like,
his library.
but I'd say Goodfellas for me is just like
Mm.
and Casino. Either Goodfellas or Casino because I came up through that. He was in all the gangster movies that I was watching. I was like, oh my god, okay, this man is just don't mess with him. And then later, I hear this thing about Robert De Niro asked Jay-Z for a song, and then Jay-Z like said he couldn't, he was busy or something, and Robert De Niro was like pissed off, and then I was like, like you said no to a good fella, but I'm like, yeah, you're Jay-Z, I guess you can, and I'm like, that's just too high level.
Was it a soundtrack or something?
I had no idea. It was like something to do with New York, like just
Damn.
I had
No, make the time, Jay-Z. Come on.
I don't know. I'm like, okay, listen, that's just high level stuff right there. I don't know. That ain't me.
Damn. Okay. Robin Williams. Mrs. Doubtfire. Patch Adams. Have you seen Patch Adams?
I would say Aladdin. He was the genie. That's why I couldn't watch the new one. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but everyone's like, oh, that's okay. Will Smith is
Right?
Will Smith as the genie.
Yeah.
No,
I Am Legend. Pursuit of Happiness.
that's
It.
imagine.
Like I gotta. Yeah. I mean, eventually you hit. You do 50 movies, you're gonna hit. It's batting 4%. Okay, Eddie Murphy.
Coming to America. Like this, just
I like Beverly Hills Cop though too.
true.
1 and 2. That's it. After that,
What? Oh yeah. 3. Yeah. Then, did you see Metro when he came in as Metro with a cop? He was playing like kind of like a Beverly Hills Cop, but I don't know. No, he had dreads. It was kind of weird.
oh no, I like Golden Child. But
Golden Child and Daddy Daycare.
oh jeez, no, I checked out after he basically did Beverly Hills Cop 3 and all that. When he got like really kid like
He started to do a lot of kid stuff.
comedy wasn't like urban anymore. It became like mainstream.
Yeah.
Toned it down even like, and it was like, oh, okay, that's not Eddie.
But have you seen My Name's Dolomite? Like he definitely back.
Oh, yeah, I saw some of the clips. I'm like, yeah, that's old Eddie. Okay, yeah, Tom Cruise.
I don't know.
You like Mission Impossible?
I do. I absolutely. That's where I went to first. But I was like, but he was also Top Gun.
Yep.
He was also Days of Thunder. He was, but yeah, Mission Impossible. Yeah.
Okay.
And Edge of Tomorrow.
Jason Bourne, Ethan Hawke, or James Bond? Which? Yeah, like which is more your style?
Bond.
Yeah, I'm still Bond. The Bond. But I'm like, when guys like the Mission Impossible stream and
action.
Bourne, I'm like, my suspension of disbelief just doesn't let me go there. You know, because the stunts are like that much more
it's like,
outrageous.
I want to think about it. Mm-mm.
Okay. Remember when Kevin Costner was a big box office guy from Field of
Yeah,
Dreams to Waterworld to what was his other? The Bodyguard.
fantastic. Like
Guys, but there's
Robin Hood.
huh? Robin Hood. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. Did you were a fan then?
Yeah, yeah. I suppose so. Like I liked Waterworld.
I did too. It was like
Flop. I was surprised to hear later on that it was a flop in the movies.
it was yeah, production budget. When you're working with that much water, yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight. Just saying. That's not. You don't want to work with water.
Yeah, it's amazing that actors can fade in and out, but like they never like that's why that what do you call that artistic I'm trying to call it like that the material what do they call it, but anyways like the compilation of their works, it's like,
Yeah,
timeless, right?
body of work, the legacy.
Yes, and they just take their times in history.
Yes,
It's hard for someone to sustain like not credibility but like current star power all the way through.
it's tough. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people consider what it takes to keep that consistency. Like an actress like Meryl Streep, who is consistent, like
Constantly working.
like Devil Wears Prada. For me, is just like one of her
Yeah, Anna Wintour.
incredible. Like, oh my gosh, like this transformed. And the consistency and work it took for her to maintain that throughout her career. It's like, yeah, you don't fuck with that. You're like, okay,
That's it.
okay.
I'm thinking of Keanu.
Yes, because a lot of people were just like, yeah, now who is this kid? Like, who is this? That?
Bill and Ted.
And he was just like,
Point Break.
Point Break.
Ricks.
Yes.
And then
John Wick.
Wick.
Yeah.
Right? Like, holy, how many decades?
Yeah. He's got longevity there. That's the thing. Like, say what you want about him.
And I see memes like him going on the subway, walking, like lives a completely normal life.
Exactly. He's a level-headed dude. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to be friends with someone like that. He's just level-headed. He's cool.
Yeah,
like the subway.
Multi-million-dollar movies, but like it's on the subway.
He's on the subway here.
Like goes to the corner store like everybody.
Life is good. I'm riding the train with Neo. This is fantastic.
Yeah, there's pictures of that. They're like,
It's like this is good. This is life. This is good.
Okay, so oh man, I'm just trying to think of some more. I mean, there's plenty of them.
I was waiting for you to do Denzel. What do you think is his
Obvious.
what's his defining? And
Thought I would pick that, but his defining Glory, Training Day. The one he should have won the Oscar for. Oh, Malcolm X.
oh, right, he didn't. Yeah, we talked about. Yeah, he didn't.
I guess it was so typical. You know that people talk about like how he won for Alonzo in Training Day, which is a rogue cop peddling drugs and money and stuff like that. And then he didn't win for The Activist when he was Malcolm X. And people were like, you know, so you when he typecasts like a thug, you give him the Academy Award. But when he plays like Malcolm X, human rights activist, like, no. I remember that. I remember like people had that conversation. I'm like, wow.
Yes, but they keep leaving out that we're judging an actor's performance. So
not the character.
So coming into Malcolm X,
yeah.
Who else is going to play Malcolm X? Come on.
Yeah.
Coming into Training Day, anyone could have played Alonzo.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
he played it and took you on. It was like uh, changing Jokers to Heath Ledger. It was like there's no way he can take on the role that Jack Nicholson did. There's zero chance that you can pull off a better Joker. And even with the most recent Joker, there's no way you're going to tell a new Joker story.
Right.
And then you got to give that actor credit for blowing people's minds and going, okay, the story is whatever, but what you did, I believed you were that character, and that's what Denzel won for.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you eloquently.
You have that capacity. You have that capacity in you. Even though I've seen you as Malcolm X, I've seen you as a strong black man. I've seen you as this leader. I've seen you as this dignified. I've never seen you as this, and I believe it. That's why you won. You made me believe. It's like, yeah, for sure. Forget the role. You made me believe that you were this Alonzo, because now Alonzo's alive forever. Right. You're like, that was Denzel. That was Denzel who brought him to life.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And that's where I got to change I got to shift in my think.
Yeah, you got to be like, did I believe it?
Did he make me believe it? That's right.
Make me believe it.
Tom.
I got to go Castaway just because I looked like him during pandemic. I was like, it was getting nasty. It was like,
and to do a body transformation in the same movie.
Yeah, yes, yeah, and Tom Hanks is like that guy that's always to the rescue. It was just like the average Joe, just the average white guy. He played Joe versus the Volcano.
Yeah.
And just like, you're always to the rescue. I would never call on you first, but you're always to the rescue.
Big. I think of, what a great movie as a kid. That reminds me of being a kid.
Fantastic.
Because the keyboard in FAO Schwartz, when he dances with the CEO of the company, and all the other toys, and then that loft that he had with all the stuff that you're like, I wish I could have that. For a toy company, and
it looked like so much fun. You know, like next time I'm in New York, I gotta find this van. Have you ever gone to FAO Schwartz?
Yeah. And then they closed it, and then
they reopened.
Did they reopen? I thought so. I thought I heard that.
Yeah, I guess not anymore. I guess
they moved the keyboard to Macy's.
Oh, really?
Have something like that, but it's not the same as going to FAO Schwartz.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, okay. It's amazing. Actually, there's a couple places in New York that closed, and I was like, that's surprising because they seem to get a lot of business, but you never know. Like Schwartz's Deli too. Stuff like that, and just no, but yeah, it actually coincidentally they're both pretty close to each other. They're in the start of Central Park there. But that iconic scene.
Yes.
When they're doing chopsticks in the. I love that genre.
How amazing did you feel when you learned how to play chopsticks?
Oh, because of that.
Because of that.
Yeah.
You didn't take any lessons or anything, did you?
That's right. No. Oh, I did. Yeah. Terrible though.
Wait, what? Time out.
No, not for very long. The teacher was uninspired. It was an easy $5. It was my mom wanting me to do it. Like I was in grade 1, and you also had to go take time out of class to go practice yourself, and I would miss it, or I could barely read time, and then I had it written in my book when I should go. It was during class. It was weird to go practice on your own. So I don't know. I wasn't interested.
Musical
teacher didn't care. The teacher was just like, it was an easy $5. My parents would never follow up. There's no report card. So he was just taking the money and what a low.
Wait, so your lessons, it was $5 a lesson.
Yeah.
Wow. And how many?
1986. That's a lot of money for parents to give for a kid that doesn't give a shit and a teacher that
That's what I was going to say. How many lessons did you take? How much do you owe your parents right now?
yeah, a lot. But I feel badly now for a guy like that who, like, to make a living, he was just taking advantage of kids that don't give a shit. That was. Right, that's bad. That's sad. Like I could see the joy in his face of putting that $5 in his wallet, and I'm like, he wasn't really didn't have much instruction to it. Like it was just like, yeah, you're screwing up, but I don't care. You don't care. I don't care. Your parents will never find out. You don't have a piano at home. It's not like you can perform for them. Like, it's terrible. It's such a money grab.
That's incredible.
Did you play instruments?
I did some piano lessons for a short time. I don't know. I think I maybe level 2, maybe 2.5. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how many levels there are, but it was definitely.
Or is that literally like the second level? Because Twinkle Twinkle, Old MacDonald. That's first stage. I wouldn't even call that level 1. Like, the level 2, is that high or not? Like, what are we talking?
I can't remember.
Christmas carols.
I remember there was snow at least 2 times in my experience, so I know at least 2 years I was taking a lesson. That kind of, because I remember.
Where did you do it?
For part, we changed teachers a couple times actually. We used to go to a music store in the mall.
Remember that? Oh
yes, they had a music store, and we would go there for lessons. And then on 2 occasions, we had 2 different teachers that would come to our house, and we ended up going to one of our teachers' houses up the road or whatever. But it just became too much, and we stopped. My sister and I both had to take piano lessons for it. Yeah, and it got to the point where like nobody cared.
That was such an 80s parent thing, eh? Because I swear to God, there was probably a Barbara Walters special, 60 Minutes, or some article that said your kid plays piano, he's gonna be a brilliant mathematician and all this. The odds
I think it was a lot.
Them making it, like it just are increased. And like, how many kids stuck with it?
I think my parents probably watched that same special.
I bet everybody, right? When there was only 10 channels, that was the night,
That's right. And we got signed up for lessons, and it was like, you gotta. Ours was 20. I guess it was 2 of us. I don't know.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
$20.
Wow.
But I guess it was 2 of us. I don't know. Interesting. It was very interesting.
No.
I remember the money exchange, like at the end, was like kind of like it was like a drug deal going on. It's like, secret. It was like we just played, Old MacDonald. Like, why are you hiding the money? Like, we're learning. I don't understand.
Sort of an embarrassing arrangement,
We shouldn't be teaching you these skills, these magic. It's like,
yeah, why wouldn't it just be like a crisp?
Just make you
a crisp.
This is rendered.
It's like the whole.
Oh my god.
The embarrassing. I could imagine that at the mall, in the store, people watching, like they're walking by, like they're dealing at the music store. It's a cover of
Music skills. Every good boy deserves fudge. What's
What's the secret word? Every good one deserves.
Gosh.
I remember that store. Remember the old record stores? The mall?
Yeah, beside
The albums would come out
yeah.
and the cassettes even, and they would have the album and the cassette would be like in plastic, so you couldn't steal them. And then they had to go bring them to the front, like, and use a key to, and then it became CDs and cassettes, right? Like, our kids will not even, because it's all like digital.
God. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Stores that sold music, that seems like robbery now, right? If you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, it was like all the album art that you wanted to look at. You wanted to take out the insert and look.
And then the phenomenon that was singles, where you're like, because, like the one hit wonders, you're like, you buy an album, you're like, I'm just listening to the one song. This is garbage. The singles were the best thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what did I just pay for?
Of the price.
And then that one single had like
remixes, right?
version of that same song. the extended mix, the West Side remix, the other mix, radio edit.
Yeah. And collecting CDs was the thing.
Oh yeah, look at your CD the books. You had to get the books to.
Yes, you would read the CDs. Some of them had the lyrics, some of them didn't. Oh man, it's kind of cool. What do kids really collect today like that?
They're collecting video games is what they're collecting.
Yeah.
Because nobody's got. Your music is all online. Your shows, you got 24. You don't have to collect those things anymore.
It steals that experience of having those things, right?
Yes, but at the same time, here's what's interesting. I don't know if you're getting pressure to get rid of your collections. I'm looking at my collections of things. We're just getting smaller. It's smaller.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I gotta be like, well, I don't need this Blu-ray copy of whatever because
you still have DVDs.
I do. I still have DVDs. I still have some DVDs. I still have CDs, man. Like we used
to go to Pacific Mall in Markham to get the bootleg. And then my brother's the best at collecting stuff, I swear. So he would get the DVDs, he would buy empty DVD cases, and then like the bootleg versions would just be the cover, the sleeve, and then the DVD. So you still had to buy the case. So he would like spend all day putting them in the cases. And then you're kind of like, is it an HD version or is it, like the cinema style one? Because those were sort of paid a premium, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
We would go there, and then once stuff would go into like HD, it would be like such a steal. And
yes,
when he would go to IKEA and buy the tower. I know they had the CDs, and then they had the DVD towers, and it's like his whole room would have like 6 or 8 like different shelves of like. You know what I mean? Like our kids are not going to do that.
No, their furniture will not be rows of files, which is, if you think, it's insane. Like we made that furniture. We're like, we got files, different song, and wave files. We're just gonna organize. It's like, no.
Remember that effort you had to go through to even compile a collection like that. Now it's like,
just make a playlist. It takes no time at all to make a playlist now. Like no time. Nobody makes playlists. I think they're just like, oh, but let the random.
Yeah. Random.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to make a playlist. I'm in the mood for this. Go ahead.
Yeah, we used to burn CDs. Oh my gosh! And I would have like certain songs. Now here, let me tell you this one. This is my trifecta. Wifey by Next, Whatever by Ideal, and then No More by Rough Ends. The funny thing is, we were listening to this while working out the other day, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. These 3 in a row. And
Amazing.
as new music came, my like compilation of those songs that I would like think up and be like, "Oh, this is so good together." They would go further from like the beginning of the CD to the end.
End of the CD.
There would be another new like, "Oh, this is the hot jam," but these two hot jams, like 1, 2. So I hear them right at the beginning, and then like then even within that CD, it would be like months. You know, that was spring, that was summer, that was fall.
Those songs stayed with you.
We even had like color coded, colored CDs, colored plastic too. Oh yeah. Oh my.
Wow. And did you write the songs on the back? Were you that guy?
Sometimes you would write them on the actual CD itself, right?
Yeah. Just real messy. Just yeah. I'm looking for the CD with it.
My friends would say, like, "Can I burn a CD?" It's like, yeah, okay. Like, and we'd had Napster or LimeWire or whatever at the time, right? And then you would just, oh my gosh,
it could be about 15 minutes for your CD to be ready.
You would watch it,
just go
on like spinning or whatever it was,
and you couldn't go too fast. You couldn't do max speed, even though you wanted to.
That's
because you didn't want to ruin it.
And you'd buy a whole spindle of CDs.
A spindle. You had to get a spindle.
Like just take it. Oh, running low. Okay.
You had to get a spindle. Couldn't run out.
Yeah. 50 CDs that you could CDR.
CDR.
RW or
rewrite. Yeah, the R was the rewritable ones.
So you could go over them. I can't remember. I guess.
Yes, but they always kind of.
They got screwed up though, didn't they?
They did. Those I always had problems with those, so couldn't do it.
I'm not weird, right? You did this too, did you not?
That's all I was doing. That's all burning CDs. Like the CDs that I still have are those CDs. The ones that I burned. The labor. Yeah. The labor that went in, the labor and care that went into those CDs. You can't find those anywhere.
That's why I'm so oblivious to now. Like, what do kids do? We would have been burning seat music, and like, they don't even have to do that now. So what are they doing to fill that void? They're missing out on growing up.
No, you're missing out by not burning CDs.
Yeah. You didn't have to go hunt for your music and put it in compilations. Now you just go to YouTube and you put, hip hop compilations.
Hip hop compilations, or you put in piano lessons, and there's somebody giving you piano lessons.
Too accessible. I'm getting old. I'm wishing for like a reversal of everything.
We should take it all away. Those damn kids.
So let's go back. Let's go in. What's the medium is the message like.
Marshall McLuhan.
Marshall McLuhan, yeah. And eventually, like, it becomes so lopsided, it goes back to the beginning, right?
This is the new beginning.
Yeah, the Motorola Razr is back. The flip phone. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Hold on, let me find it.
I'm shocked.
Break. We're going to interview Eric.
Can I play this?
You know what? Yes.
Hold on, let me hit the flip phone first. And then hold on. And then we'll go into.
I forgot we were going to talk about that. I don't think we stayed on course today.
No, not at all. We just started.
Not at all. It's fine. This is a great one.
There. $730.
Wait, are they bending the screen? What the?
Yeah, it's coming back.
Uh-oh.
So I was thinking to myself, like, who would want that? But then I'm like, well, a lot of people would like that.
I mean, if you're bending screens, I think a lot of people would appreciate that. Interesting.
Apple fatigue, right?
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. Flip phones are going to be cool again.
Interesting.
There it is. Look at that. I remember when the first picture phone came, and I was like, oh, wow. That was
yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool.
See how that comes out. Motorola Razr. That was a big one, right?
When is that? Is that this year? Is that? coming out this year? 2020? I guess so, yeah. Interesting.
Does not have a physical SIM card. To learn more about activate what? Okay.
An eSIM. Interesting.
Available.
I've got my eSIM on my 5G.
On that thing. Wow.
Okay.
That's pretty small. I think I want a Razor. Look how small that is.
That is tiny.
You'll flip.
Interesting.
Yeah. Looks like it's available. Would you do it?
I will. I gotta see it. I gotta hold it. I gotta check it out before I say yes. But I am interested because I enjoyed having the Razor when it first.
I enjoyed Blackberries with the raised keys. Can I tell you why?
What?
I could text and drive. I knew exactly where I was. Isn't that insane?
Neil.
I know, especially today, the no that is, right? So, yeah, like imagine, like you can pinpoint your different phones from the different eras too. Like,
yeah. Yes. Oh, I love it. I'd love to see that, actually.
The MIDI file, like ringtone.
The MIDI file. Oh, God.
And then it was the Razor. It was Motorola had another one, a flip phone.
Yes.
And then BlackBerry and Androids and.
Did you have the Fido though? That first Fido phone when they first came, it was this weird Ericsson phone.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, lead us into this next.
Okay. So I was watching the news, CP24 CNN, with the sound off, and I was reading the headline and then watching the newscaster's reaction, and I was like, "There's a miss there. Their face doesn't seem to convey the tragedy that I'm reading." And it was kind of like, so just sitting there, it would be like they would, and they'd be talking. And then you see that face, and underneath it would be like thousands still displaced or something. And I'm like, shouldn't you be more worried or concerned? But it was like, and back to you. And it's like,
yeah. How do you train to do that?
How do you wait? What? How should I be responding to what you're telling me? And so we were talking. I wanted to talk about that. And then I wanted to practice our faces, and you're like, I ain't practicing no face. And then you're talking about the newscaster mishaps, and those are funny.
And this is the one that
you're telling me, because I've never seen this clip, and you were saying the newscaster
got it wrong. Yeah.
Made an error. I've not seen this clip. I wanted to see because it sounded funny. I would like to see this.
Right after the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. He's gay. Excuse me. He's blind. So
okay, as we head to the break, a look at
like, how do you confuse that? What Freudian slip did you have?
It was a setup. It's just, but
he wanted to really nail it.
Who climbs the tallest mountain in the world? But you're like, but what?
Those two things get confused all the time. They're interchangeable.
What?
I saw it on a blooper. Yeah.
So I was wondering what had happened. Is there any follow up to? Is she still?
No, that was it. No, it wasn't a big thing. That was a while ago, and she didn't. No big apology or firing or nothing.
Oh, the LGBT wasn't offended or?
Well, you could see how grainy that video was. So that was like early
Because
2000.
nobody cared.
Yeah. Not yet. There was no
That's true. I guess it's still
culture or.
I guess if she ever becomes like a senator or has more a position of power, I think then they'll come after her for her.
Yeah, that's it. That'll resurface.
Okay, but
Yeah, I saw this.
just so Kate can climb mountains.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. Yeah.
But I think that was the takeaway, right? I think.
Blind with gay. Like, why?
I just wonder how she got. But
Yeah.
he's gay. I mean,
Yeah, it was such a foul up. I guess that's why it's had so many hits.
he was blind. Was he gay and blind, or was he just blind?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that's news. If it was like a gay blind man.
How do you follow up? How do you tell that story now? And her co-anchor was like, you were.
He didn't react. He didn't react. His reaction was what? Stone cold. It was just like, Karen, how could you?
How could you do that? Have you been following the news concerning the change of the Washington Redskins name? And actually, the Cleveland Indians released, because I felt like they never got in as much ridicule as the Washington Redskins, but they were a press.
No, I haven't. I didn't.
Yeah, they're seriously. They've been asked to change their name now, and all the news is like what they're doing to change it and what they'll change it to. So I get this meme. It was on the Onion. My cousin sends it to me, and he goes, "The Washington Redskins will now change their name," and it was the logo, and it's not what you think. It says the DC Redskins. Oh, they changed the location, not the name. So I'm like, oh man.
It's the location that was offensive.
Yeah. It was, the Onion, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, what's it going to be? And then I still saw Redskins, and the DC is so subtle. You're like, oh, it's a joke.
That's amazing.
So let's leave it at that, I think. Because you're like, oh, Washington was the problem.
It was Washington.
It wasn't the team name. Okay, it's the DC.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's interesting that I show that to a lot of dudes, sports wise, and like more people are find it funny than outrageous. You know what I mean? Like, like the media enhances that more people are upset about it. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, are fewer people really outraged by it, but the news will have you think of
sensationalize it, right? It's kind of like,
am I just sharing it with the people that I know are just going to have a sense of humor about it, right?
yeah, because it's like, okay, are the fans going to stop because of the name? Like, has there been outcry from the beginning? Like, I'd be a fan, but I find this offensive, so I'm not going to be a fan. Is that population growing? Is that a growing concern of people? Like, hey, wait a second, I'm no longer going to be a fan because I've realized how racist this name is. Like, I don't think that's happening. It seems like, wait a second.
So I saw that and I was like, oh, wait a minute, they didn't change the name.
Here, like, I'm genuinely a little confused because when stuff like this happens, or like they're talking about the Aunt Jemima or the Uncle Ben or the Quaker or whoever, I don't think people think it through all the way, because on one side of the argument it's like, hey, we want to see with our eyes more diversity.
Right. Yeah.
And so when they encounter something that is diverse, they're offended
Right.
by what they're seeing because of the connotation and association attached with it, instead of going,
Right.
here's an opportunity to rebrand the image. I can say that up until this point, well, even in the beginning, they didn't choose a racist image. It's not like, hey, let's find the most racist thing and let it represent what we're about.
Right.
It was like over time, the attitude changed about the image,
Right.
and then it became offensive, which is asinine. If you think about, well, when you go back to the original intent,
Yeah.
which wasn't racism, it was just to have this image represent this, and just go, okay, we'll keep the image and say it's going to represent this. It's like the swastika.
Yeah. Was that religious symbolic? Yeah.
It was. It was first associated with power and prosperity and that sort of thing, and then it was used by people that were using it to oppress another, and it became, through association of these people, a bad symbol. But again, the symbol itself originated as a positive symbol.
So
it's just attitude shifted.
Right.
Therefore, it shifted, and now it's like, oh, I'm not going to wear a swastika kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, that kind of, it's kind of teasing you at that veil of the social construct. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, we made this up. We made up this symbol and its meaning, and now we feel a ways about it, and so now it's going to mean something else.
Yes. Yes.
Like, okay, you can play that game. And it comes back to the diversity thing. It's like, well, if you start to, they call it whitewash, they're whitewashing things to get rid of diversity. The opposite of diversity would be like to whitewash. So it's like, well, which do you want? Do you want the diversity, or do you want the whitewashing of the image?
Right.
Don't cry out for both, because they go hand in hand. And you can't, you can have both, but you got to understand both.
Yeah, one would argue that the status quo is both.
Yeah.
Right. And the new movement is the creating the uniformity. And then, so I get what you said, like it defeats the purpose of having diversity.
Exactly.
In the name of,
in the name of erasing a history, or trying, because at the end of the day, they're upset for what it represents, not understanding that they themselves can change what it represents.
Yes.
They have that power to do that. You're empowered to make it mean what you want it to mean. That is,
in society, don't we have the other side arguing equally as intense because of what's going on with the climate? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and so the noise, it just becomes noise, and it's like, well, no one's really saying anything.
Where, like, the other side of the coin is completely egregious.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's tough. Yeah, for certain. But there you go. I think we hit it on the head. We'll leave everybody with that deep thought.
Yes! I love it when we do that.
When we stumble into it.
We stumble, just like, you know what? That sounds smart. We're going to leave it right here.
Hey, we said most entertaining, not most accurate, right?
That's right. True indeed.
Awesome. Thank you guys for listening, watching us on YouTube, listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Republic, Spotify, all the different areas and ways in which you can listen. Had a blast. This is another great chat.
Absolutely.
Very off the cuff last little while, and I've enjoyed these ones the most, because following what's going on as far as the topical news becomes very formulaic. Then we're just doing what everybody else is doing. But hopefully you
Exactly. You gotta have fun with it sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Just two brothers like discussing things that we enjoy and trying to make each other belly laugh as hard as possible.
Yes, that's what it's about. Love, bruv.
So we got a special segment coming up that we're going to be recording live in studio at the Signal Studio.
Yes.
Coming up the weekend of July 19th. And we're going to announce our special guest or keep that a secret?
We'll keep it secret.
Okay, terrific.
We're still finalizing the details.
Sounds good.
And then we'll drop it. Drop it like that.
That's right. We'll be looking forward to sharing that with you. So thanks for listening along. Don't forget.
Thank you so much.
Share us with your friends.
The incredible, the lovely, the wonderful, the smart, the intelligent, the hilarious, the charming, and insightful.
I want to follow up. I at this hour, I don't have so many words. The wonderful, the amazing, the sought after, the elegant, the eloquent, the maniac, the brainiac, the one of a kind, the dynamic and the dynamic duo. Christopher Bernard.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening.
Yes,
for bearing with us, for your attention. Thank you.
Best podcast you never seen or heard of.
Until now. Right now.
What more?
What more can you ask for? Podcast and chill.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, until next time.